God is good. God is good. And yeah, mama, what's up? Y'all know how I feel about my mother and my father's here. Your pops, where you at? My dad came in from Ghana. He flew in from Ghana to be here. My brother, my sister's here. My family. I want to thank Warner Brothers. I want to thank Mike and Pam for believing in this dream, this vision of Ryan.
God is good, right? That's what they tell you from the pulpit. That's what Steve Harvey tells you every morning before he sells you another book on how to keep a man. But let me ask you a question that's currently burning a hole through the velvet curtains of Hollywood. What happens when the family man brand is built on a foundation of filth? March 15th, 2026. Michael B. Jordan stands on that Oscar stage. He's got the gold in his hand for sinners, but his eyes look like he's seen the blueprint of hell and barely made it out alive. He thanks his mother. He thanks his father who flew in from Ghana, but there is a deafening, soul-crushing silence where the name Harvey used to be. You think it's just a breakup. You think he's just not ready to commit. Wake up. We aren't talking about a Hollywood split anymore. We are talking about an arrangement. A system where Steve Harvey reportedly traded access to his own wife, Marjorie, and his daughter, Lori, to the now incarcerated mogul Sean Diddy Combs in exchange for the keys to the kingdom. We are talking about the rumor that has the industry trembling in their designer boots. A coordinated, high-stakes threesome involving the Harvey women and the man currently sitting in a Brooklyn jail cell facing federal racketeering charges. Is Michael B. Jordan's silence peace? Or is it the only thing holding back a tidal wave that will drown the family feud empire forever? Diddy is in a cell. Steve's marriage is reportedly a ghost. And Lori is allegedly clawing at Jordan's door, desperate to pull the only man with a conscience back into the dark. Grab your coffee and lock the doors, because the family man mask is about to be ripped off in front of the entire world. As we look deeper into this entire situation, it becomes clear that in Hollywood, nothing is ever truly as it appears in front of the camera. Michael B. Jordan's stoic expression and his mysterious silence are no mere coincidence. The reality is that when Jordan began his relationship with Marjorie Harvey in November 2020, the world thought they were the industry's most beautiful couple, but behind that glamorous curtain lay a level of toxicity that Michael himself hadn't initially anticipated. Industry insiders and emerging reports now suggest that Michael was brought close to this family for a very specific purpose. We have to understand that Steve Harvey's entire brand is built on morality and family values, but under the guise of this brand, a network was allegedly operating that leads directly to Puffy Diddy, also known as Sean Combs. Diddy's name isn't just in the headlines for music anymore. It's because of the serious federal charges he's facing in a New York jail. But the real explosive detail is what Michael B. Jordan discovered while sitting at the Harvey family dinner table. Sources suggest that Michael very quickly realized that the relationship between Marjorie Harvey, her mother Marjorie Harvey, and Diddy was not merely professional or friendly. We are talking about the alleged arrangement that sent shockwaves through Michael's world. Imagine a man who holds his self-respect and career above all else finding out that his partner and her mother were involved in compromising agreements with a powerful mogul who acts as an industry gatekeeper. This wasn't just an emotional blow. It was an invitation to become part of a system. Steve Harvey is often described as someone who will go to any lengths to maintain his fame and power, and the allegation here is that he provided access to the women in his family to figures like Diddy to solidify his own influence. When Michael B. Jordan realized the truth of this setup, he made the decision to walk away quietly, but exiting wasn't that simple. When news of their breakup surfaced in June 2022, the media was fed a story that Lori wasn't ready for commitment, but the truth is that Michael could no longer carry the weight of that corruption. Now, in 2026, with an Oscar in his hand, Michael B. Jordan possesses a moral authority that few others in the industry have, and the Harvey family is in a state of absolute panic. Steve Harvey's third marriage to Marjorie is reportedly collapsing, and the reason is those same old secrets emerging from the shadows. There have been revelations about Marjorie's mysterious past before, including her first husband's criminal history, but her and Lori's names being linked to Diddy is proving to be the final nail in the coffin for this family's reputation. The silence Michael has maintained throughout this period has become his most lethal weapon. He hasn't mentioned Lori in interviews, nor has he launched an attack on Steve Harvey, but his silence is eating away at Steve every single day. Steve is terrified that if Michael speaks, his books, his lectures, and his entire media empire will crumble in a heartbeat. The story doesn't end there because Diddy is now behind bars and is no longer in a position to protect anyone. The fear that Hollywood once associated with Diddy's name has evaporated, and this is the moment when old witnesses and silent bystanders are beginning to talk. Reports of Marjorie Harvey attempting to recontact MichaelBJordan are essentially a desperate emergency measure to pull him back into an agreement or, at the very least, buy his permanent silence. But Michael is no longer the man he used to be. He is a global icon who doesn't need the Harvey brand. The most shocking part of this scandal is how a father allegedly used his family as a shield to secure his place in the industry. Steve Harvey always taught women how to think like a man, but he seemingly forgot to mention that when a man like MichaelBJordan sees the truth behind the curtain, he doesn't look back. As investigations move forward and the case against Diddy strengthens, the noose is tightening around the Harvey household. This isn't just a rumor. It's the connecting of dots that have been scattered for years. Back in 2019, when Lori and Diddy were spotted together in Italy and Mexico, people thought it was a casual fling, but it's now becoming clear that it was the beginning of a much larger game. MichaelBJordan stepped into the middle of this game, and when he pulled back the veil, all he found was deception and greed. Now that even Steve Harvey's social media manager is reportedly jumping ship and his own employees are speaking out, it's clear that a family feud has started inside his own home. Michael's silence has become a resonance that is audible to everyone familiar with Hollywood's underbelly. The world is waiting to see if Diddy will go down alone when his trial begins in May 2027, or if he will drag Steve Harvey and his family down with him. This is only the beginning, because once the truth starts flowing, no power can stop it. MichaelBJordan has proven that sometimes saying nothing at all is the loudest revelation of all. The roots of this system are so deep that everyone involved is now terrified of one another, not knowing who will be the next to fall. Behind Steve Harvey's smile now hides the fear of a man who realizes his biggest secret is no longer a secret. To maintain the intensity of this investigation, we have to look at the cold, hard numbers and the paper trail that the Harvey family thought was buried under years of positive PR. We are moving into the second phase of this exposure, where the family man image meets the federal prosecutor's evidence. The transition from MichaelBJordan being the perfect son-in-law to becoming the dangerous witness happened almost overnight in June 2022. But to understand why, we have to talk about the Diddy-Harvey exchange that reportedly took place behind the closed doors of mansions in Holmby Hills and Star Island. When Michael entered the picture, he wasn't just dating a socialite. He was being integrated into a business model. Sources close to the production of Creed 3 at the time noted a visible shift in Michael's demeanor. He wasn't just tired from filming, he was burdened. He had reportedly discovered that the lavish lifestyle Marjorie and Lori were flaunting wasn't just coming from Steve's family feud checks, it was being subsidized by a network of favors involving the most powerful and now most disgraced man in the music industry. Let's talk about the specific incident that allegedly broke the camel's back. In the spring of 2022, right before the breakup, there was a private gathering. Not the kind you see on Instagram with 21 course meals and coordinated outfits, but a high-level industry meeting. It is whispered in the corridors of power that Diddy made a comment to Michael that changed everything. A comment that implied Lori wasn't just Michael's girlfriend, but a shared asset of the elite circle. The rumor is that Diddy alluded to a night involving himself, Lori, and a third party, a threesome that wasn't a secret to the Harvey parents. For MichaelBJordan, a man who built his career on integrity and the legacy of being the next Denzel, this wasn't just a betrayal of the heart, it was a realization that he was being used as the clean face for a very dirty operation. Steve Harvey's role in this is perhaps the most chilling aspect. How does a man who tells you to get your mind right every morning allow his family to be linked to a predator like Diddy? The answer lies in the survival of the brand. In 2020, Steve's ratings were fluctuating, and the industry was shifting. Diddy represented a level of untouchable status that Steve craved. By allowing Lori to be the bridge between the Harvey name and the Combs empire, Steve wasn't just a father, he was a talent agent brokering a deal. He knew that Diddy's reach in Hollywood could secure MichaelBJordan's future and, by extension, keep the Harvey family in the spotlight for another generation. But Steve underestimated Michael's moral compass. He thought Michael would play the game. He thought the Oscar, the fame, and the Harvey beauty would be enough to buy his silence. But then came the 2024 raids. When the feds swarmed Diddy's mansions, they weren't just looking for hard drives, they were looking for names. And while Steve Harvey's name hasn't appeared on a formal indictment yet, the court of public opinion has already issued its verdict. Every time a new victim comes forward against Diddy, the public looks at Lori and Marjorie and asks, "What did you see?" The pressure is building so intensely that Steve reportedly had a breakdown backstage at a recent taping. His marriage to Marjorie, which he has touted as a miracle from God, is now being described by insiders as a legal arrangement to prevent her from testifying against him in the event of a racketeering probe. Marjorie knows where the bodies are buried, or in this case, where the tapes are hidden. The psychological warfare Lori is currently playing with MichaelBJordan is a masterclass in desperation. Since his Oscar win in 2026, she has reportedly been sending congratulatory messages that are thinly veiled pleas for a meeting. She knows that as long as Michael stays silent, there is a chance the public will forget. But if he speaks, if he even confirms a fraction of the system he witnessed, the Harvey name becomes radioactive. No more Disney deals, no more talk shows, no more motivational tours. Steve Harvey would go from the most trusted man in America to the most shamed father in Hollywood history. Let's analyze the Diddy system further. Diddy didn't just throw parties, he built compromising material. He ensured that everyone who entered his inner circle was compromised in some way. If Marjorie and Lori were involved in the way the rumors suggest, Diddy likely has footage. And if Diddy has footage, the feds have footage. This is the real reason Steve Harvey is reportedly firing staff and lashing out at fans. He's not mad at the clickbait, he's terrified of the truth bait. He's a 69-year-old man who is watching his legacy evaporate in real time. He spent decades telling men how to be kings and women how to find princes, while allegedly acting as a panderer to a music mogul. The irony is that MichaelBJordan is now the king Steve always claimed to be. By choosing silence, Michael has maintained his dignity, but he has also kept the Harveys on a short leash. Every time Michael makes a public appearance, every time he wins another award, he reminds the world that he is the one who got away. He is the one who didn't take the bait. He is the one who looked at the Diddy-Harvey arrangement and chose his soul over a seat at the table. And as the trial of the century approaches in 2027, the world is beginning to realize that the most dangerous person in the room isn't the one who is shouting, it's the one who is watching. Steve's second wife, Mary Shackelford, was right all along. For years, she was labeled as crazy and bitter. But her accusations of Steve being a master manipulator and a fraud are now being re-examined in the light of the Diddy scandal. If Steve could erase Mary from his history and try to bankrupt her, what wouldn't he do to keep the Marjorie Diddy connection a secret? This is a man who thrives on control, but he has lost control of the one person he needs most, MichaelBJordan. As we move toward the final fallout, the cracks in the Harvey mansion are becoming craters. The threesome rumor isn't just a tabloid headline. It's a symptom of a culture of exploitation that has plagued Black Hollywood for too long. MichaelBJordan's Oscar isn't just a trophy for acting, it's a trophy for survival. He survived the system. He survived the Harveys. And as the walls close in on Diddy and Steve, Michael stands as the only man left with his head held high. The family feud is no longer a game show. It's a battle for the very soul of a family that sold itself for a taste of Diddy's power. And as the lights dim on Steve's career, the only question left is, who will be the first to crack under the federal pressure? Will it be Marjorie? Will it be Lori? Or will Diddy, from his cell in Brooklyn, decide that if he's going down, he's taking the family man with him? The timeline doesn't lie. 2019, the fling with Diddy. 2020, the relationship with Jordan. 2022, the breakup when Jordan sees the truth. 2024, the arrest of Diddy. 2026, the Oscar for Jordan. The trajectory is clear. MichaelBJordan is ascending, while the Harveys are in a free fall. And as Lori reaches out one last time to pull him back, She's realizing that some men can't be bought, and some secrets can't be kept forever. The silence is breaking, the truth is leaking, and the Harvey empire is about to become a cautionary tale for the ages. The final fallout of the Harvey-Diddy-Jordan triangle is not just a celebrity breakup. It is the disintegration of a decades-long media strategy built on the illusion of perfection. To understand the gravity of what is happening in 2026, we have to look toward the looming shadow of May 2027, the date set for Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about the witness list. Sources within the legal community have whispered that prosecutors are looking for individuals who can testify to the lifestyle facilitation that occurred within Diddy's inner circle. If MichaelBJordan is subpoenaed, his silence, the very thing he has used to protect his own peace, becomes a legal liability. In a federal courtroom, there are no NDAs. There are no publicists to spin the narrative. There is only the truth, under oath, and that is exactly what keeps Steve Harvey awake at night. The rumor of the threesome involving Marjorie, Lori, and Diddy is the explosive center of this storm. But the shockwaves go much deeper into the mechanics of how the Harvey family operates. Investigative researchers have pointed out a disturbing pattern in the Harvey household, a relentless pursuit of proximity to power at any cost. For Marjorie Harvey, who rose from a complicated past to become the matriarch of a global brand, Diddy represented the ultimate gateway to the elite black aristocracy of Hollywood. But what was the cost of entry? If the allegations are true, that Steve Harvey allowed or even encouraged his family to participate in Diddy's freak-offs or private arrangements, then Steve has not just failed as a father, he has operated as a high-level manager in a system of exploitation. This is why the 2026 Oscar win for MichaelBJordan was such a pivotal moment. It gave Michael the unbeatable status. He no longer needs Hollywood's gatekeepers because he has become one. He is the prize that the Harveys lost, and his success acts as a daily reminder of their alleged moral failure. Let's look at the financial consequences. Steve Harvey's empire is valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, largely driven by his appeal to middle-class families who buy his books and watch his shows because they trust his judgment. If Diddy's trial reveals that Steve's family man image was a cover for a panderer lifestyle, the lawsuits will be unprecedented. Advertisers are already reportedly distancing themselves from the Harvey brand. The family feud set is said to be tense, with Steve reportedly becoming increasingly paranoid about leaks from his staff. And while Steve tries to maintain control, his ex-wife Mary Shackelford continues to post her truth online. For years, people dismissed Mary as a woman scorned, but in 2026, her words are being reread like a prophecy. She warned that Steve was a man who lived a double life. She warned that he would use anyone, even those closest to him, to maintain his stature. With Diddy in a jail cell, Mary's accusations are no longer just bitter rants. They are corroborating evidence of a character profile that fits the Diddy system perfectly. Meanwhile, Lori Harvey is caught in a desperate loop of recontention. According to sources, she has realized that her it girl status is fading as the Diddy association becomes more toxic. In Hollywood, you are only as good as your last association, and hers is currently tied to a man facing racketeering and trafficking charges. Her attempt to pull MichaelBJordan back into her orbit is not an act of love, it is an act of survival. She needs Michael's clean image to wash away the Diddy stain. But Michael is playing the long game. He knows that re-entering the Harvey world would mean inheriting their secrets and their liabilities. He saw the system in 2022, he saw the exchange of favors, and he saw the way Marjorie and Diddy interacted. He chose to walk away then, and he is choosing to stay away now. The paradox of his silence is that it tells the entire story without him having to say a single word. Every time he is seen in public without them, every time he ignores a congratulatory text from Lori, he is confirming that the world he left behind is one he never intends to return to. The legal reality for Diddy is grim. He is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility known for its harsh conditions. He is a man used to the finest silks and the most expensive champagnes, now facing a life behind bars. History shows that when powerful men are cornered, they start naming names to save themselves. If Diddy believes that exposing Steve Harvey's involvement in his private parties will buy him a lighter sentence or even just a bit of leverage, he will do it. Diddy has no loyalty to Steve. Their relationship was a transaction. And in a federal investigation, transactions are traced back to the source. The 69-year-old host is standing on a foundation of sand, and the tide is coming in fast. The marriage to Marjorie is reportedly near the end because they can no longer agree on how to handle the impending fallout. Marjorie allegedly wants to flee to Europe to avoid the media circus, while Steve wants to stay and fight for his brand. But how do you fight for a brand that was built on a lie? As we approach the end of 2026, the industry is bracing for the great exposure. It's not just about the Harveys and Diddy. It's about the entire culture of silence for success that has dominated Hollywood for decades. MichaelBJordan is the hero of this story not just because he is a great actor, but because he refused to be a silent witness who profited from the corruption. He chose the harder path, the lonely path, and it led him to an Oscar. The Harveys chose the easy path, the path of access and exchange, and it is leading them to total cultural erasure. The family feud is over. The winner is the man who walked away. The losers are the ones who stayed in the system, thinking they were too big to fail. Marjorie Harvey's denial of dating Diddy in the past has been completely debunked by the photographic evidence from 2019. And that lie is what makes people believe the rest of the rumors. If she lied about the relationship, why wouldn't she lie about the threesome? If Steve lied about his family values, why wouldn't he lie about his connection to Diddy's dark world? The cracks are no longer just cracks, they are canyons. And as the world watches the Harvey house of cards tumble, we are reminded of the advice Steve reportedly gave Lori: "You are the prize." The irony is that MichaelBJordan was the actual prize, and by trying to use him as a cover for their Diddy arrangement, the Harveys lost the only thing that could have truly saved their legacy. Now, the final question remains: what happens when the music stops? Diddy's trial will be the most watched event of 2027. MichaelBJordan will continue to ascend, leaving the Harveys in his rearview mirror. Steve Harvey will likely retire in disgrace, his books removed from shelves and his shows cancelled by networks afraid of the backlash. And Lori will be remembered as the woman who had it all and traded it for proximity to a predator. This is the full story. This is the system exposed. This is the end of an era of deception. When MichaelBJordan stood on that stage with his Oscar, he wasn't just celebrating a movie, he was celebrating his freedom from the Harvey Diddy trap. The silence was his weapon, but the truth is his victory. Don't say we didn't warn you. The family man was always a character, and the it girl was always a pawn. As the federal case moves toward its climax, remember that in Hollywood, the only thing more dangerous than a man with a secret is a man who no longer has to keep it. MichaelBJordan is that man. And the world is finally listening to what his silence has been saying all along. If you found this investigative breakdown shocking, you aren't alone. The industry is in a state of shock. Steve Harvey is in a state of panic. And we are just getting started. This story is the blueprint for how power is traded, how families are used, and how one man's integrity can bring down an entire empire of lies. Keep your eyes on the headlines, keep your eyes on the witness list, and most importantly, keep your eyes on MichaelBJordan. The best actor of our generation is about to give his most important performance yet, the performance of a man who finally tells the truth. Stay tuned, because the 2027 trial is just around the corner, and the Harveys are running out of places to hide. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on the fall of the Harveys. The family feud is about to get very, very real. What do you think Steve Harvey's first statement will be when the subpoenas start arriving? Do you think Lori can ever recover her image after this? And most importantly, do you think MichaelBJordan should finally break his silence on a late-night talk show? Let us know in the comments below. We are watching, and so is the rest of the world. The fuse is burnt out, and the explosion is here. This is the end of the Harvey illusion. Good night, Hollywood, and good luck to anyone still hiding secrets in Diddy's vault. The curtain has finally been pulled back, and what we are seeing is the wreckage of a Hollywood dynasty that chose power over principle. MichaelBJordan didn't just win an Oscar, he won his life back from a system that tried to consume him. But this is where you, the audience, come in. We are at a crossroads in pop culture where the truth can no longer be silenced by high-priced publicists or intimidating NDAs. We want to hear from you because your voice is the only thing that keeps these powerful figures accountable. Is Steve Harvey's family man brand officially dead? Or do you think he can charm his way out of this Diddy-shaped hole one last time? Does Marjorie Harvey deserve a second chance, or has she permanently tied her legacy to the dark side of the industry? And what about MichaelBJordan? Should he finally sit down for a tell-all interview and burn the whole house down, or is his silence the ultimate class act? This story is moving faster than the federal prosecutors in Brooklyn, and we are committed to bringing you every leaked document, every anonymous source, and every crack in the Harvey mansion as it happens. If you believe that integrity matters more than access, then you need to be part of this community. Do not let this scandal be swept under the rug like so many others before it. Hit that like button right now to show the world that we are watching. Smash the subscribe button and turn on all notifications because the 2027 trial is going to reveal names that will make your head spin, and you do not want to be the last to know. Drop a comment below with the word truth if you stand with MichaelBJordan. We are reading every single response, and your theories might just be the focus of our next deep dive. The family feud has moved from the TV screen to the federal courts, and the stakes have never been higher. Stay tuned, stay skeptical, and keep seeking the truth behind the glamour. We will see you in the next one.